Happy Monday, you guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It is hot out here still. We still under this heat wave out here, so it is hot. So if I look shiny, it's because it's hot. Okay. The air is still on, but it's hot in Texas. It's hot in Dallas. 110. It's hot. You can still feel it at nighttime hot.
That
But
sounds crazy.
yeah, man, you can put eggs, you can scramble some eggs, you can put bread in the fucking mailbox and make toast. You can bake some biscuits outside. That's how hot it is. It's so hot out here. Welcome to the chat. Hey Andy, hey Sean. It is SummerSlam week. I know this is the AEW show, but it is SummerSlam week. I like SummerSlam. I enjoy it. It's out there in Detroit. Make sure you go to West Side Detroit because that's where the baddies was at on them threads on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
The baddies is at AEW. Not AEW shit. The Detroit, West Detroit. Especially if you love black women. If you love black women, they in West Detroit. Now if you went to whatever, I don't know, but I know that thread was full of some bad West Side Detroit. Cash Doll and them. WWE have Cash Doll perform. We don't want to see no Eminem. We want to see the bad bees. Bring out Cash Doll. Just have her out there, do her thing. I know y'all don't know no songs, but just have her out there do her thing. It's Cash Doll.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Have some Cash Doll. And then this past weekend, we had the fight. I know everybody seen the fight. My boy went down. It wasn't a good day.
Man.
Earl Spencer at all. Like the whole that we was just like he out there look like Arlington. I don't know what this is, but we did hear that he signed to do a rematch or whatever. But he took his L like a man. You know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. No bitterness or nothing, but you know what I'm saying.
That's what Craig said, but I think he should maybe chill out on that rematch just for a minute because I thought it was gonna be a closer fight than it was.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what the hell is this?
Spence was getting punched up. I felt bad for Cuz. I was like, come on, man, like that. Not my guy. Not my guy.
All that shit. I'm like, oh, Cliff and this bitch, yeah, blah blah blah, and then he came out doing that. I'm like. That's all right. We got Shikari. That's okay. We'll shake back. But yeah, but the fight was everything. Now, if you know your wrestling history, you know it's always been beef between boxing and pro wrestling, especially back in them 20s and them 10s. Because boxing was like, this is a fake thing, and they exposed the wrestling business, but wrestling was still entertaining. They knew it was fake. So boxing and wrestling always been a hate thing. But now you're seeing lately as like modern day boxing, they starting to use promos like wrestling to get the matches over. So
they need to.
At this point, yeah. So
they're making it work though.
They're making it work. Okay, so today we're gonna get into some. We back with the wars this week. Dynamite versus Collision. We're gonna get into some Rampage review. I'm gonna get over women business, and we're gonna have a great conversation about booking. And of course, I'm gonna add a little bit with the discourse that happened today with the Cody, the Cody documentary that came out on Peacock. So we'll get into some conversations today, y'all. So we're going to start off with the wars because Dynamite was interesting and Collision was interesting this week. It was a lot going on, and they're getting ready for All In. All In is selling these tickets, and they like 3,000 away from, making history as the secondary succeeding with a big event. So kudos to AEW. So we getting ready for All In, all this stuff got a brew. So got candy. I'm sorry, let me take it out. I thought it was gum, but it's not gum. It's hard ass candy. Because I'm over here trying to bite it, and I'm like, ain't no gum. This is not gum. So let me take this ass off. I won't look like I'm sucking. No pun intended, y'all. Don't be nasty. Okay, so on Dynamite and Collision, we're gonna start off with the openers. The opener for each match. The first opener, it was for the AEW International Championship match. It was Orange Cassidy versus AR Fox. And then also in Collision, it was the ladder match for the mask for Andrade to get his mask back. It was Andrade versus Buddy Matthews. We got some great openers. It's testy. It's you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start off with the first one with Dynamite. Orange Cassidy versus AR Fox. It was a great match between the two. The dynamic was amazing. AR Fox showcase was amazing. Great. You know, AR Fox is a vet and he's true to it. You know, it's always a win when a black man come out there and wrestle in his damn do-rag and stuff like that. You know, they like shit like that. It was a great match between the two. And then after the match, you know, Orange Cassidy he had to sneak that win because he was getting defeated. So, like I say, Orange Cassidy is one of the best in-ring storytellers because he really had to boil down to get to like the last hesitant. I gotta hurry up in this match because this dude is defeating me. That's been the story for Orange Cassidy. Like he's broke, like he is giving his all on each match. Hey Eddie. He is giving his all on each match like a broken man. Like I'm using all of me, my fingers, my back, my hip, like the laziest workhorse. But after that match, AR Fox, he ended up hitting the man. He hit the man and he lost control. He lost his cool. And it got real crazy. Darby Allen came out and started confronting him, and he started yelling at him, and it just got real tense. It's rising. Tension is rising. So that happened on the opening. And then, of course, after that opening, all of a sudden, Moxley came out and attacked Orange Cassidy. Now, if y'all remember, Orange Cassidy versus Moxley was supposed to happen, and it never happened because Moxley had went in into rehab and things like that. So it never happened.
Yeah.
It never.
That was like 2 years ago now, almost, right? That was the Full Gear Eliminator tournament. Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes. So that was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. So Moxley comes out and attacks Orange Cassidy. So we may possibly see Orange Cassidy versus Moxley at All In. You never for the All Atlantic Championship match. So you never know how that'll play out, but it was great. You know, we got something brewing. We got stuff brewing. It's a lot of things brewing. In Collision's opener, Andrade versus Buddy Matthews, that also was a good match, adding on to my girl, which we'll get into on Women Business. But great. It was a great match. You know, Buddy Matthews got his shoulder popped back in place and went back in and worked. You know, you got to be a man and pop it back in and get back to doing what you need to do. That's all you got to do is pop it back in. Athletes do it all the time. You know, wrestlers are considered athletes in my eyes because they put their bodies on the line like every day, you know, for our entertainment. So that is a form of athleticism to me. And it was crazy. He slammed Buddy Matthews and Julia through the table, and he ended up getting his mask back. Now, I heard and I saw the discourse like, what's the big deal with a mask? Y'all got to understand when it comes to Mexican wrestlers, especially lucha wrestlers, mask means everything. It means a title. The mask is their identity, and it goes way back into the Aztec days. Okay, so it's a big deal. He got his mask back. He got his identity back, and it's not over. It's not over.
I was assuming that during this match, the ladder match for the mask, that we were gonna get some type of House of Black. Y'all know I call them the House niggas. We was gonna get some type of House of Black interference, and then maybe the return of Roosh. You know, to
not
kind
yet.
of.
They said not yet.
Okay, I'm trying to rush the story. They said slow down, son.
Slow down. It's coming. That's what we waiting on Roosh to dirty these niggas, but they waiting. We need they got a third. They do got a third. Vance. Maybe Vance. I don't know.
Maybe Vance.
Yeah. Maybe Vance. I don't know. Okay, and then so if you in the chat, which opener did it for you? Was it Dynamite's opener or Collision? Make sure you vote in the chat because Graham would keep tallies. Public Enemies is also in the chat, so they would keep tallies. Unless that's Graham, I don't. So keep tallies. So make sure you put the C or you put the D so we can keep the tally, okay? Because y'all do decide, if you're new here, y'all do decide who has the better show of the week, okay? So make sure you put your D's and your C's. Don't put them, y'all hard-headed. Don't put the matches, just put the D's and the C's. Put the D's and the C's.
Yeah, man. And if it's any single ladies out there that would like to see some D, my DMs are open.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow. That was very smooth. That was very, very smooth. All right, next up. So on Dynamite, you had the Jack Perry promo, and then we're gonna also add, Jericho having to fight Danielson and also Sammy. And then on Collision, because this was unannounced, we had Darby Allen versus Suzuki Murder Grandpa. It wasn't originally on the card, but it's Darby Allen. He has nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's Darby Allen. So they added on to the card. So that's why it's 2 segments versus 1, because both of them was promos. So Jack Perry this angle is a ECW type tribute, and I feel like it will lead to Rob Van Dam eventually. Everybody has honored ECW, but it's always never been correctly done. So I think this is AEW's way of paying homage to ECW, which also I want to also include Paul Heyman likes it. He's all right with it. You know what I'm saying? Because ECW is his baby, so he's all right with it. So the only thing we ask for, if you're gonna do this right. ECW does deserve their flowers. But yeah, I feel like it will lead to Rob Van Dam, because Rob Van Dam has been working out and he's also been doing matches. So I think that's where this is going. And it's not saying Rob Van Dam is going to be all AEW, but being it is All In, and All In was just like a wrestling gathering in 2018. I think this is probably a way, just do one match at All In, just a tribute match to ECW. So I think that's what this is leading to.
I think that's a better move than what Bully Ray was trying to pitch.
Right.
He said, I guarantee me or Tommy Dreamer could get AEW over 1 million viewers. Guaranteed. This is my G. I don't know who your Coke dealer is, but keep them online.
Yeah.
For you, not for me.
Yeah, keep them to the side. So yes, I think that if y'all are confused with, what's the name entering, I'm like, okay, the only one that I can feel like is kind of semi-able to keep up is Rob Van Dam. So I was like, maybe it will be Jack Perry versus Rob Van Dam at All In. So it's just a way. So just take this with a grain of salt, but just take it as a tribute. And it's best for Jungle Boy to do the tribute to ECW, being that he is a pillar. So, because I don't want to say Hook will be perfect, because Hook still has a lot to learn. So it's best for a pillar to do it. You know what I'm saying? And Jack Perry makes sense. So it's just a homage wrestling match. So don't be too over on it. Just think of what it's about. Okay. And that's what it's about. Because ECW do, like I said, they deserve their flowers. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, take it with a grain of salt. So also, another promo, Don Callis, he, telling, if you up to this, we got a match for you. You and Soup versus your young lions, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. And Doug was like, this ain't no problem, because you broke up with them just last week, so it shouldn't be no issue. And Jericho was just like, them are my babies, them my sons. I can't do that to my son, So we have that lineup. So those things happen. It transpired on Dynamite. Also, on Collision, like I said, unannounced match between Darby and Murder Grandpa. Of course, it received a pop. It's Murder Grandpa and it's Darby Allen, and they went crazy. Darby Allen almost died a few times, and Murder Grandpa was pissed on how he lost. He wanted some more. Like, nah, hell no, hell no, hell no, not this. You know, he was just like, oh fuck no. I'm sick of losing to this little ass dude or whatever. So yeah, it was just another unannounced match to keep engagement. It wasn't no reports or anything. Was it supposed to be something in between that match or nothing? It wasn't nothing scheduled and nothing that come up. So I guess it was just another match to just have Darby on to help with the ratings because Darby is ratings. So he just added that too. And then of course they had Christian come out. Christian was talking his shit, his big shit, calling him a goth boy and all types of stuff. And you know, Darby got his daddy in his life, so he couldn't make really no dad jokes. So he'll probably be like, yo, dad fat or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Gotta go. So if you in the chat again, just put your D's or put your C's, okay? So which segment on which? We don't have to take too much time on that. So also on Dynamite, we had, you know, introducing on, you know, the major TV, it was Pac versus Gravity. And also on Collision, it was Samoa Joe versus Gravity. If you're not aware, Gravity is the younger brother of Bandito. They are real brothers. You could tell they look just alike, even if they got the mask on, like the hair and how they're built. They're brothers. That's his younger brother, Bandito's younger brother. So it's a possibility that he will be signed next to the AE Lucha.
And they shitty with the gear too.
Yeah.
They shitty with the gear.
The whole like taunting of him moonwalking and shit and walking slow and stuff like that. I like it. They did a callback. Pac was trying to tell him, "Do you remember me?" And Gravity's just like, "I don't know who the fuck. I don't remember." And Pac took it personal and beat his ass and wouldn't let go, and it was just crazy. But it was a great match between the two. Gravity was able to show everybody what he can do, and he's a great wrestler. I'm pretty sure that he's probably going to stick around. The taunting that he does is, you know, I like that, the walking slow shit, like he walking on the moon and shit. That's doing the turn like he doing a robot. So that's cool. And then also on Collision as well, Gravity booked again. He faced Samoa Joe. He did shit again, and Samoa Joe taunted him too, because you know what Samoa Joe do? He act like he not about to catch no high flying ass bump. He walks away, and he just started doing the taunting too. So put Gravity in the dirt. Poor Gravity, but Gravity was able to showcase his skills, so it's good. So he may be added to the AE Lucha since we've seen him 3 times now. Usually when we see luchadors more than once, it's more likely that they come into the E. So
we going with Gravity's L number 1 or Gravity L number 2?
Put L1 for Dynamite or L2 for Collision, since he was on both of them. Put your L's up.
Yeah, y'all gamers know about L1, L2, right?
L1, L2. Lucha 1 or Lucha 2? Lucha 1 or Lucha 2. So we had that. So again, shout out to Gravity. And also next up after that, we had some promo competition. On Dynamite, you had MJF and Adam Cole's promo. And this is when MJF was making fun of Dax. And then also on Collision, you had CM Punk's promo. And then, of course, with Ricky Starks and stuff like that. So we're going to get into the first one. Now, y'all know I'm not the biggest MJ fan in the world, but this shit was funny to me because he was right. Because Dax do talk about the same shit. My wife, my daughter, and I love this business. Like, he say the same 3 shit over and over again. So when he, like, mimic him and saying it, I was just dying laughing over. I'm like, oh, I cannot stand him, but this shit was so funny. I love my wife. I love my daughter.
I love this business.
Business.
He was on his bumper.
On his ass. That was like, and fucking Renee, poor Renee, she wanted to laugh so bad. Like, if I was Renee, I would have lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have lost it. She tried. She tried so bad. But that shit was so funny. And then on Collision, people was wondering what was in the bag, and CM Punk had the original championship title. He was speaking facts a little bit. He didn't lie, but hey, you're not the champion anymore, because if Kenny and them have to work for theirs, you just can't be granted the damn championship. But hey, I see where they're going with this, because if you don't recall what happened online, Eric Bischoff said that CM Punk is worse than Hulk Hogan. And if you know your history with WCW, it's pretty much the same thing that Hogan did with the title. He marked it the NWO, but CM Punk's being a little bit petty, and he marked out the E, the Elite, in AEW. So, yeah, he exited out, and he's self-declaring that he is the original. He's still the champion. Nobody pinned him for the championship. And the rules and regulations of pro wrestling, he is correct. If you have not been pinned for the championship, you are still declared the champion. And this goes, if they're going by the heavyweight championship rules, then that is correct. So CM Punk has a valid point, but I see where they're going with this, and it's leading to something. So we're seeing where this is going. This is good. And then, of course, Ricky Starks came out, and Ricky Starks talked his shit. Like, he talked his big shit on this promo. He said some shit. And I want to talk about CM Punk, because CM Punk held back. And I'm not a Phil fan, but I know when Phil is holding back as far as the promos. And he held back Saturday. Why is you holding back against Ricky Starks? Come on, bro. I was ready for you to say it, but I know he's going to say it eventually, okay? But he held back a little bit. But I think that's the story in within that too. Like, he tried to let him know, like, I'm letting you win right now. I would take it there if I really wanted to, but I'm not. I'm taking the higher road. That's what this is right now. So CM Punk is holding back, but he's going to eventually unleash.
What do you think he's going to say? What do you think he's holding back on? Saying what exactly? You trying to be the
like the Dwayne Johnson, and also following Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Because he could for sure be like, I already fried up your idol.
Right.
So the guy that you trying to be like, this is a piece of cake. This is a cakewalk.
That's what I was waiting for. I'm pretty sure he's going to say it eventually, though. I was waiting for that shit. I was waiting for it, but he didn't say it. But he's going to say it eventually. But Ricky Starks, he looked great. He was confident out there. He talked his shit. He had some O's going, you know what I'm saying? So it made Ricky look good. He's doing a good job making Ricky look good. Ricky is finally shaking back. He's been to where he needs to be. It's kind of confusing because CM Punk being a babyface is not really working. He has to be a heel, like an anti-hero heel. He has to, like, that's his lane. So I think he's waiting to hold off on that until the right time. But I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, so he's dipping into like this little tweener bag that he's kind of like trying to walk the lines on, but not all the way go into. And like, I don't know, but it's working for Ricky. Like, he did that when he interrupted him and then was like, oh, hey, y'all need to play my music. Everybody act like y'all didn't see me. Like, that was amazing. And then he came out putting 10 on 2, way too much on it, being stupid extra. That's the Ricky Starks that I did. What was they calling him? Sassy heel? Sassy? Yeah, sassy.
Oh, out of line saying they're talking about sassy Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I'm with that. We need more of that.
Yeah, he was on his sassy shit. That's what they were saying. So if you in the chat, put your D's up or put your C's up for this segment. Make sure you put your D's and your C's so we can keep up with it. All right, so next up, On Dynamite, you had Darby Allen versus Swerve Strickland, and also on Collision, you had the Bullet Club Gold versus Spike Kinko versus Darius and Action Andrade in a trios match. So on Dynamite, a lot happened. Swerve Strickland and Darby Allen. First of all, that was a great match. And Swerve keeps getting better and he's getting bigger. It's a scary sight, okay? He's getting better in ring and he's getting faster and he's getting bigger. So he letting it be known that, you know,
he's gonna force that main he's gonna force that top of the card run.
Yes, that's what he's doing. Like he's forcing it. So he's getting the ball rolling on it, and he put Darby Allen in the dirt. He gave Darby Allen a hard time in this match. And then a taunting with Nick Gage, because that ain't his name. What's the little young one?
Nick Wayne.
Nick Wayne.
It rhymes.
Yeah,
he was close.
Sorry. Nick Wayne was ringside taunting or whatever. And then, of course, AR Fox shows up and attacks Darby Allen. Swerve picks up the win, and now AR Fox is part of the Mongol Embassy. And, of course, it's a callback of Lucha Underground. So they have history together. So I didn't really see this coming, but now that it's happening, it works. It makes sense. So AR Fox is part of Mongol Embassy. You got the niggas, you know what I'm saying? AE niggas is coming. You know what I'm saying?
AE niggas.
It's coming, you know what I'm saying? AEBET, as they was trying, you know what I'm saying? We got the AEBT, you know what I'm saying? So the Mongol Embassy, AR Fox is joining. Good fit. So we'll see where this direction is heading. But I think the Darby and Swerve storyline is not over. It's far from over. So we got that going. And then also on Collision, it was the trios match. You had, like I said, the Bullet Club Gold, which was the Gun Boys and Juice Robinson. Everybody liked their intro together. I did too. It works. They just need a better song. Do the Mini Man again with them. That'll work. And then it was versus Vikingo, Darius, and also Action Andrade. So you had the trios match on Collision, a great fun match. A good match for Bullet Club Gold is building them up. And of course, Darius and Action Andrade, I like them together. And then of course, Vikingo, you can't go wrong with him. And he's been featured a lot too. So I feel like he will eventually leave AAA soon as well. So, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, they know what the problem is. They're not trying to fix it. So, hey, you can't keep them there. They can leave. So, never know. So, if we see Vikingo sign to AEW being part of A Lucha, we know why, okay? So, A Lucha's building. They might be building for Rampage, to be honest with you. So, yes, the gun intro is fire. So it was a great match for Collision. So if you in the chat, put your D's up and put your C's up on which card was a card. So if you with the Swerve and Darby, put your D's up. If you with the trios match, put your C's up. Okay.
This one's unanimous. Everybody love the niggas.
Yeah. Put your D's up. All right, so we're going to get into our main event. So main event, it was Dynamite. You had BCC, which was Moxley and Claudio versus Lucha Brothers versus Best Friends. And then also on Collision, you had FTR versus Adam Cole and MJF. Trios match. It started off a little bit shaky, and then it finally picked up for the main event. It really picked up. It started to add a little bit more. Yes, it is. It started to add a little bit. So it did start off a little bit rocky, but it added towards like the middle of the match. A lot of things happened in this match. Penta was on one in this match, especially towards Trent for some reason. He was on one with Trent. He wasn't really fucking with Trent in this match. He was on one. So yeah. So then you had That happened, and then of course after the match, well, not after, but a little bit during the match, Orange Cassidy comes out, but he comes out with his music, and it kind of frustrated Trent Beretta a little bit, and it cost Trent Beretta to get pinned by Penta, and Penta ended up taking the win. The Lucha Brothers ended up winning the main event on Wednesday. But Orange Cassidy came out on one. He wasn't playing with Moxley. We rarely see Orange Cassidy mad. The only time Orange Cassidy is mad is if it's against Pac and Moxley. And he came out like he wasn't even coming out on no. He came out running and started aiming right at Moxley. So he ain't fucking with Moxley right now. We ain't seen Orange Cassidy like this. So Orange Cassidy's legit pissed off. You know, he pissed off. So this gonna be a good match that was supposed to happen and never happened. Now we finally getting it. So yeah, Orange Cassidy got his lid bag. Yeah, he got his lid bag. But it did cost a loss for best friends. So that's a little bit interesting because Trent Beretta was a little frustrated at that. Also on Collision, you had FTR versus Adam Cole and MJF. Another great tag match. You know, the crowd was feeling MJF and Adam Cole. They wasn't really feeling FTR, but of course they started feeling FTR because the in-ring. So it was a little bit mixture of the two. The crowd was divided. Like I said, great tag team match. FTR ended up winning. But some people thought that Tony was going to make the call, Adam Cole and MJF being tag champions. No, come on, y'all. Come on. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta, come on. Y'all know better. He's the champion, for goodness sake. He got to get out of this shit. He's the champion. It's almost like we forgot who the fucking champion is. He's a champion. We can't keep him in the tag division. So we got to get him in something and all in. So yeah, that I don't know why y'all wanted him to make that call. That would have been dumb. What would that add to the tag team division? We already struggling. You know what I'm saying? It's already FTR already be holding the belts and be trying to pick and choose who they want to defend the belts against. Okay, so it is what it is. And then after the match, they, you know, we thought that MJF was going to hit Adam Cole, but they ended up hugging it out, which makes me lead to that it will be Adam Cole, the one that turns on MJF. I think he was testing MJF doing that, and it's like, oh, he's soft. You really is a softie. You know, the mind manipulation, like, oh, you're really soft. Because there's nothing like Adam Cole's done it before. He's done it before, y'all. So don't be surprised if it ends up being Adam Cole turns on MJF instead of the other way around. I think MJF is to the point where he's vulnerable. He's at a vulnerable state, and he's starting to trust and get close to Adam Page. I mean, not Adam Page, but Adam Cole. But Adam Cole is just like, it don't take much for him to get attached. I can't be with nobody like that.
I think it's an interesting dynamic. Yeah, that's funny. C for friendship. It's an interesting dynamic what they're doing with MJF and Cole, because like this is like a perfect opportunity for them to do a double turn, like you said, and like reposition MJF for the second half of the year for his title run, which they've done a masterful job. Like before I've even known it, it's already 8 months into his run. It's like 200 and something days, right? Mm-hmm. But I think like if they do turn Cole and make MJF the face, like in my head, just like because I'm still like focused on like booking 101 from like the fucking 90s because I'm old, like I'm thinking like they'll have to turn MJF heel before the end of the year if they want to revisit this bidding war of 2024 thing, because I don't know if that works as him being a face unless they decide to drop that altogether.
They might drop it altogether. Maybe MJF take a break. You never know.
Because what if they so MJF.
But then you gotta get back to the CM Punk shit.
Okay, so boom. So MJF promised Adam Cole a title match, right?
Yes.
Now, if this whole thing with CM Punk is leading to a unification or real world champion versus AEW champion, whatever, at All In or at All Out, I think it will work better at All Out because I think Triple H. I think CM Punk has to take a L in Chicago.
Yes.
In order to that, I think that would be a good token of his faith, in the company. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take a L in Chicago, and this is gonna be my give back because I haven't lost the title, but again, I don't know. I think that maybe Adam Cole should help MJF defeat CM Punk.
There you go. There you go.
Or maybe Adam Cole is conflicted because MJF is like, well, I mean, if you want that title shot, you got to help me, buddy.
There you go.
Like it's a way to get them all involved, and then maybe spin MJF somewhere else for the second half of the year before you give the Adam Cole title match, and then maybe you do like a CM Punk versus Adam Cole type thing or something. But I think they could definitely make something dope happen out of this for sure.
Yes.
What about the Kingdom and Adam Cole? Bring that back. You said he got to switch it up, like instead of doing the Roddy and the, and the Kyle O'Reilly thing, what if he switches gears and, hey, Mike Bennett, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Come fuck with me. I don't know. I'm just saying things I think about.
Yeah.
Things I think about.
Yeah. We just got to let the chefs cook, but it's a lot of what ifs right now between this AEW championship right now. So a lot of things can go either way. But so yes, if you in a chat, put your D's up or put your C's up for the main event so we can tally up on who was the show of the week, because Dynamite been whooping Collision's ass for the past few weeks. Yeah. So we gotta see if they gonna shake back this week, okay? So we're gonna get into Rampage. I won't take too long, of course, because it's Rampage. Rampage has started off with the tag team battle royal. The winners will face FTR. I don't know if they'll say like at a collision or what, but it looks like probably at a collision. The winners end up being Big Bill and also Cage. Right call. It was a right final call when it was Big Bill and Cage versus Butcher and Blade. That was perfect. That was correct. That was the right thing to do. That was the right call. I was so glad that the Hardy Boys got eliminated. I was so happy that happened. I was scared. I was just like, please don't let the Hardy Boys win. I love the Hardy Boys. I love what y'all contribute to tag team and wrestling history, but I was just like, please do not have them win. I do not. Please don't. And then they end up losing. Right call. Thank you. So it was final four. Yes, final two. It was Butcher and Blade. Like I said, Butcher and Blade are great workhorses. They are great heels for like the mid card, but they are veterans in the game. Butcher was showing his ass. He was going off. But Big Bill and Cage took the win. Right call. So we're going to have Big Bill and Cage versus FTR. We don't know when. It may be Collision. They probably did announce it. So it might be at Collision. I don't see it being at All In. I don't even think FTR know who they're going to face at All In. That's if they want to fight. After that, we had Commander versus Kip Sabian. It was originally supposed to be Scorpio Sky versus Kip Sabian, but Scorpio Sky is out again with another injury. We don't know if it's serious or we don't know if it's minor, but he is out on another injury. It's unfortunate because he did just come back from an injury just to get injured again. So prayers up to you, Scorpio Sky. Shake back. I hope it's not nothing too serious. And because I know that he really wants to wrestle. So it's just some unfortunate things, your body gives out at times and, he got injured. So we end up having Commander versus Kip Sabian. And I love Kip Sabian. So, Tony, if you could find a way to get Kip Sabian in All In, because, he's great. He's a great heel. Add him to something. You need your bread and butter, okay? Don't forget
Battle
the bread
Royal.
Yeah, Battle Royal.
Battle Royal. I just don't see what else he can win. What else he can win convincingly? Like if it's like a one-on-one, he ain't really won nothing in a minute.
Yeah.
So like I think it's not really enough time to like heat him up. But like a battle royal or like a multi-man type situation, give him like a nice little spot. Nice little spot.
Yeah, put him in the battle royal and have him win for the home country. You know what I'm saying? So you had that, and then also on Rampage, the Kingdom. Now I could not find the names of these guys that they faced. The Kingdom faced local talent, just to showcase their skills. Maybe the Kingdom is going to face FTR. Finally, FTR needs to wrestle people. Like they gotta, they can't just keep holding the titles when they feel like it. So maybe the Kingdom is getting added to the tag team division, and maybe they will face FTR. You never know. So Kingdom ended up taking the win. So that was your Rampage. Because the main event is part of Women Business, which it's time to get into some women business.
This is what you need to do. You need to stay out of women business.
Yeah, women business is a lot to talk about. AEW Women's Division, of course, was the topic of conversation for the past 2 weeks now. This conversation, and I hate that we had this conversation because I gave the whole pep talk last week just for this week to happen. And it was a lot of things that happened. On Dynamite, of course, we had Britt Baker versus Taya Valkyrie. I'm going to keep it positive. I'm going to say the stuff that was against Taya Valkyrie, it was not her fault. Taya Valkyrie is a veteran, and she did the best that she could. Okay. Britt Baker, maybe it's time for you to sit out. Maybe it's time for you to just sit out for a couple of months. Let us miss you. Okay? Maybe it's time for you to sit out right now. Okay? Because that performance, I know people have bumps and sometimes people have bad matches, but it's been consistent. You had a good match last time just to turn around and have this type of match. It's time for you to just be a leader and step aside. Just step aside because, like I said 2 weeks prior, when you have the face of the division steady fucking up, and I'm not saying it with shade, but I'm telling the truth. If you have the face of the division steady messing up, steady fucking up, it looks bad, and they're going to consider the entire locker room like they did this whole week. AEW Women's Division needs this, and the energy is towards one person, but everybody's going to get it because you are the face of the division. So if the face of the division is fucking up, everybody's going to pay for it. And then you have to book the women's division better. That is true. But like I keep saying, two things can be true. Like, they're trying to do better, but then when you have this happen on TV, they're going to continue to book how they book it. Now, I can say it's time for Tony Khan. You have to start putting the emphasis and the energy towards the women's division, and it's time to just let her know it's time to step aside. It's time for you to step aside because we're trying to progress. If you really want this division to progress and you know that you are the weak link in this progression, it's time for you to be a leader and step to the side. It's time for you to do that. So I'm saying it all out of love. I'm not saying it to slander Britt Baker because she was slandered enough on social media, and a lot of things happen as far as outside and things like that. But it's time for you to be a leader, put your big girl panties on, and realize that maybe I need to step aside for them to get better. Because we have the talent. The talent is there, but it's a distraction when the face of the division is causing the riffraff. Okay? So step aside, step to the right, and let these women work. Let them work. Let Toni Storm be the leader of the division because she is the championship. Where is Queen? I think she's injured, but she's not signed, so I don't know where you're asking for her.
She is injured, but yeah, she doesn't have a deal.
Why is
she is really good though.
Mihu A.
Trish is ROH though, so she's fine.
Trish Adora.
Yeah, she's fine.
Why is Trish? I don't know. You may need to ask Trish Adora that. I'm not sure. I don't know, but don't come in here getting on my nerves, okay? But anyway, like I was saying, Britt Baker is the face of the division, and it's just kind of time for you to step to the side a little bit, okay? Just let the women work so they can get the story brewing. Also, we're gonna get on to Collision, women's business. We had Mercedes Martinez versus Kiera Hogan, the only Hogan we acknowledge. Great match. I want to say AEW Collision Women Business has been on a great run. It's been great. They've been providing great matches on Collision for the women business. The discourse, people complaining about the time slot. Who cares about the time slot? They are cooking. Ever since Collision started, they have been cooking for the women division. So I've been liking what I've been seeing as far as with the AEW women business on Collision. It was great to see Mercedes Martinez. She was out. She's back in. She did really good. Kiera Hogan, she showed her improvement as well. Stories are brewing. It started with Collision. Of course, Mercedes picked up her win. She didn't want to let Kiera go out of the submission that she had her in. And then, of course, Chris Statlander came out to, hey, chill out. She came out to order business. She came out, but then Mercedes attacked Chris Statlander. And then on top of that, you had Willow Nightingale run out because she's cool with Chris Statlander. So you have different things brewing. And I think because to add more than one women's match on the card for All In, so they have things brewing. Hey, baby. So they have things brewing for AEW Collision. And then, of course, we'll get on to Rampage. Rampage happened, and we had Shida versus Nyla Rose. Two AEW former women's champion. Of course, they have great dynamic. Of course, they did great matches between the two. Shida taking the win against Nyla Rose. And now Shida, Shida gets to face Toni Storm. Toni Storm came out. Started clapping or whatever, fake clapping. And, we're getting Toni Storm versus Shida at Dynamite. So Shida being the ace of the AEW Women's Division, this should be a great match and should put Dynamite Women Business on the great run. So, like I said, we just need Britt Baker to step aside as a leader, just step aside and let these women work. We have to let these women work because we have the talent. So Shida F, baby, please say the baby. She takes the win, and she is going on Dynamite. So Toni Storm versus Shida should be good. So maybe they could use what they didn't use when it was when we thought it was going to be the first women's blood and guts, and it didn't happen. So maybe they can build on from there to add to Shida and Toni Storm. So we have that coming. And also, I didn't get to put it on my notes, but it's reported that Thunder Rosa has been working out. She's back training. She's back in the room. She's back cooking. So Thunder Rosa should be coming back soon. And I'm ready to see Thunder Rosa. She has been trending. Of course, she's been trending at a retaliation to, of course, with the Britt Baker situation. But at the same time, you cannot say Thunder Rosa can't wrestle. So Thunder Rosa's coming back. So hopefully she comes back before All In. If she do, it's gonna be, it's gonna be huge. She's gonna get a pop because being how insufferable our leader of the women's division has been. So she's gonna get a pop off of that alone. And Thunder Rosa can really wrestle and she can go. And she's gave Britt Baker her best match ever still to this day. Like she still gave Britt Baker her match. So
She said She said 6 weeks about 3 weeks ago.
I think she's lying. So I'm not going. She probably lying to us. So it's probably gonna be a pop.
Yeah, because if she said 6 weeks 3 weeks ago, then that lines up about all in, all out for her to come back. So I wouldn't be mad at that.
Rosa, yeah. So Thunder Rosa she should be coming back soon. So we're looking out for Thunder Rosa. So I don't have a women business of the week because the discourse between the AEW Women Division, but we still have 4 weeks to get to All In. And so I'm hoping that he's hearing the complaints and take initiative that we want better for the women's division. We want better for them. Like, I want better for them. I'm not even going to say that the booking has been excellent. The talent and the timing of the matches has been there. But the booking wise, you have to put the same energy to the women's division. So that way, I'm not going to say it should take, I'm not saying like, make me interested in the women. That's not what I'm saying. Y'all should be interested in the women, but we do want better for them. So get to cooking for the AEW Women's Division so that way they can have the love that they need for all out. I mean, not all out, all in and all out. Shit. All in too. So that's it for the AEW's women business. So we're going to get back on track on women business. I got faith in them. So they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. Stuff is not easy. It's never easy. Just stick it out and keep working on it because I'm pretty sure y'all going to get there by all in. I have faith in it. So I'm not going to clown too much. I just Britt Baker, out of love, just step to the side for a few months. That's all we ask. Just step to the side. Yeah. So I want to get into something interesting. Okay, so the discourse I've been seeing it's basically from the 2021 fans. I know it's not the entire AEW fans. We have since we've been here before. It's mostly the 2021 fans. And the complaint is that they're ready for the card. No matches has been announced. It's 4 weeks, okay? If you new to AEW, you know how Tony announces his matches, okay? A lot of y'all are babies and y'all not used to this, but this is how we used to be. Like, your company is good if they don't have to announce the card in order for them to sell. Okay? They are selling without the card. That says a lot about AEW, okay, as the product. Hey, baby. They can sell without the product. So it's going to get there, y'all impatient asses, the 2021 fans. That's why y'all need to be banned. I want y'all out of here because it's y'all. Get y'all, and I'm going to give y'all a few history on booking, okay? This is how you don't want things instant. They done tried that before. It's bad business, but y'all need to know y'all history when it comes to booking. I want to say, me personally, the best booker of all time in my opinion is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman understood the what, the who, and the why when it comes to booking. His simplicity. And he got his booking ideas, of course, from Memphis. If you're not familiar with Memphis wrestling, not when Jim Cornette was over Memphis wrestling. I'm talking about before then, when Jerry Lawler was part of Memphis wrestling, when Jerry Lawler was part of the booking creative. Jerry Lawler kind of started that simplicity of booking, the who, the what, and the why. Who is wrestling, why they're wrestling, what they're wrestling for. That is the most simplest shit. So you can tell how Tony Khan books, he get his influence from Paul Heyman. And the reason why I say Paul Heyman, because All In has the same type of factor, and it reminds me of how they did WrestleMania 17. If you wasn't, old enough to remember the fiasco with WrestleMania 17, leading up to WrestleMania 17, how Vince McMahon used to do it, he used to just announce who is wrestling who, and then the pay-per-view. But when Paul Heyman came into play, Paul Heyman, he built stuff up, and then 2 weeks prior or a week prior, the card. So when Paul Heyman came in to book for WrestleMania 17, the issue was people was kind of on edge because they were like, we don't know the lineup for WrestleMania 17. Just for WrestleMania 17 to still to this day be the best WrestleMania that it was in WWE history, in my opinion, as far as the booking from the top to bottom. Like Paul Heyman had that shit sold up and he did it so perfectly. Like you popped it off with the Intercontinental Championship. You popped it off with this. The only thing that he didn't like that he had to book on the show was the fucking the gimmick battle royal. He did not like that shit. That shit was corny, but it was, just a tribute to the old school at that time. But you have to let the shit cook. That's how he did it in ECW. And he doesn't get the credit that he deserves as far as his booking is because he was over ECW. And ECW has always been looked as these, like a development, quote unquote, and things like that. But his formality of how he booked modern day is the most genuine and simplistic way to book. So you can see that influence of Paul Heyman that Tony Khan has of him and how he booked. Most people keep saying it's Eric Bischoff, and I'm like, no, he books like Paul Heyman does. The same format is how Paul Heyman does. You have to make sure you have your bread and butter with the main card. You have your main cards, then you have your semi-main cards, and then you have your B-list. And the B list is always the the Intercontinental Championships, the mid cards. You have to have them. And how Paul Heyman always talked about is how he has it is you got to have the main cards first in order to build from there. The problem is you have people just build for the main card and just don't care about the rest. You can't do that because they solely depend on the main card. But Paul Heyman, being that the genius that he is, you have to satisfy each to keep people seated. You don't want to keep people like, okay, we're only here for Kenny versus Moxley. We don't care about the rest. No, you got to care about the rest in order for it to sell. And being that Tony Khan has got that strategy, I can't even say it right. That's why AEW is able to sell without giving out the card because they trust Tony in the card booking because Tony gets his influence from Paul Heyman. It's the same way of how WrestleMania 17 sold. WrestleMania 17 sold without the card given at first, but the Stone Cold and The Rock being the main event, that's when it sold out. Like, it's all, oh shit, it was already selling, but that sealed the deal. And then the rest of the line fall through. Like, you had, it was Jericho versus William Regal. Then you had fucking Undertaker and Triple H. And then you had fucking the TLC match. And then you had Name That Shall Not Be Named. And like, you know what I'm saying? You had a good Eddie Guerrero versus Test. It was,
you had that triple threat hardcore match too with Raven, Big Show, Kane.
Like Kane, Big Show, and Raven. Then you had the gimmick battle royal. Then you had fucking Jazz versus Lita versus Trish Stratus.
TLC.
Like WrestleMania 17, like it will never be nothing like it. Like, and I do like 19 too, but as far as the booking, everything perfect from top to bottom, nothing be like, oh, I didn't care for this match in WrestleMania 17. You don't have that. And Paul Heyman booked that, and Vince McMahon gave Paul Heyman almost a month and a half to do that. Gave him a month and a half to do it, and he came over and he did it. That's why Eric Bischoff hate on him so bad, because he will never be a Paul Heyman. He might have a better budget than Paul Heyman, but as far as knowing the business and knowing how to book and knowing how to manage, you will never be a Paul Heyman. So yes, Paul Heyman is my favorite booker of all time. He understood the concept, the what, the who, and the why, the simplicity. It doesn't have, the only time it has to be a story within a story because time changes. Modern times is changing. It's changing over time. You can't keep using the same old material to sell now. You have to give a little bit of the soap operas. But Tony Khan is able to, prove that you can still have the simplicity of wrestling into this shit. Like the who, what, and why. The same three. And it's selling. So be patient with booking, because This is history for AEW. And if they get this shit wrong, you know they're going to be the laughing stock. You know people's going to talk about it. So let the man concentrate. Let him work. You're going to get your card. This is a big deal for them. This is AEW's WrestleMania and more. This is to prove that the alternative can be just as successful. Because if AEW wins with All In, that means everybody wins. Okay? This is the test to break the wheel of the monopoly in wrestling. This is a big deal. So let Tony Khan work because he has to book for Dynamite, Collision, and using Rampage to get there. Okay? So let the man cook. You're going to get your card. 2021 fans, y'all getting on everybody's fucking nerves. Okay? Y'all getting on everybody's nerves with y'all impatient ass. Y'all are being so impatient. Let the man cook, because if he was to release the card, y'all gonna be expecting that on Dynamite and Collision. And I know that y'all are upset that Kenny is going against Jeff Jarrett and stuff like that, but let him rest his body. He still has to be active, but let him have this rest ass matches, okay? To build to where we need to be in All In, because we know something's probably gonna happen with that.
Yeah. We can already tell how much of a success that All In is, because you see, what was the announcement that Impact just made a couple of days ago? They just booked their own UK tour. They haven't had a UK tour since 2015, 2016. Mm-hmm. So, like, the business is hot, and it's not just because of WWE and what they're doing. It's a collective, work between all of these companies. So we got to let AEW cook and give them their grace, give them their flowers, give them their space to do what they need to do. Because this is an important piece of wrestling history, for sure.
This is an important piece, like you said, of wrestling history, because if AEW wins with this, it's a win for everybody. It's a win for everybody. Yes, what's the question?
I do have a question. When did this change exactly? As far as Tony having to, what am I trying to say? When did it change from how he's doing this booking strategy? Because when AEW first started, the thing that I liked so much about it was they were booking and planning for matches 2 weeks out, a week out. Like, you knew what the card for Dynamite was damn near Thursday, Friday, after Dynamite. So was it when all of these new shows started adding in, like, you got less time to announce these matches? Because he used to do really good with announcing these matches early and cards early. And then, because there was that whole thing about WWE was like, oh, 3:00. By the way, watch Raw tonight. We got this match with Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable. Nobody wants to fucking see that shit. So, I don't know. Somewhere it switched to whereas they slowed it down. And maybe Tony was like, I need to slow it down so I don't spread myself too thin. But at some point it did kind of switch, though.
Yes, now, that question was brought up, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, and he wouldn't say who it was that he had the conversation with, but the advice that was given to him was to slow down, and that's why I think it was Paul Heyman. Because Paul Heyman likes AEW. He wants AEW to win. Because he always said, if AEW wins, we all win.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if things go south, he got another place to work.
Exactly.
It's smart business, man.
Yeah, if AEW goes, because being that Tony don't fuck with Eric Bischoff, it's a win to him. Oh, you fuck him too? I like him.
Yeah, I'm with
fuck
that.
Him too? Yeah, I don't like him either. That's my main ops. I don't like him. Yeah, I fucks with him. But yeah, it's a win for wrestling. So he didn't say who called him and who he had the conversation with, but the advice was given to him to slow down and plan out. Slow down and plan out, so you won't burn yourself out. And he's been doing that ever since, and it's been working. So that's why I'm like, it's these 2021 fans, because he's been doing this since 2020. So yeah, you 2021 fans, y'all came in when shit got good. Y'all wasn't there when this shit was struggling. Y'all the ones that's acting like that. So y'all need to simmer down. You're going to get your card. Okay, simmer down and let them cook, because we got a show to sell and things to get going. So yes, I wanted to get that little history 101 Paul Heyman is my favorite booker, and I feel like it's similarities between All In and also how the build-up for WrestleMania 17 was. It was the exact same impatience, and the fans was like, "Oh, what's gonna be?" And then when they announced the fucking The Rock is Stone Cold, and then you see like you think you're special and shit, you know, the lead into it. Then that's when it started selling, and then of course, the William Regal and Chris Jericho feud and different feuds. Like it was more than one feud that people cared about. So you know, we kind of getting that back with AEW. Like it's still minor bumps in the road, especially with the women's division. But even Paul Heyman had the Jazz versus Lita versus Trish mean something like, and that was a semi main event. No, it wasn't. It was like the third. Yeah. But yeah, so let the chefs cook, okay? Let the chefs cook. It's gonna get there. We need to be like, oh, this is about to be the best pay-per-view of this year. That's the reaction that we need, okay? So let the chefs cook.
I think there was some I don't know if these are confirmed, but multiple outlets are saying that All In is of course going to be a pay-per-view as well on DirecTV, $50, like the same shit. I'm like, damn. Then the next week they're gonna be like, yeah, $50 again for All Out. They gotta come with it. They gotta come with it. They ask me for $100 in 2 weeks, my nigga. Like my weed dealer don't get that much money from me.
Yeah, so it got to hit. Or somebody or I'm gonna watch one and not the other or something. I don't know.
I'm a bootleg both of them. I'm not gonna hold you, Tony. I'm sorry. I'm broke.
So all y'all let the chef cook. Okay, so we're getting closer to the end of the show. So who is the show of the week? Who did the fans vote for? Who did the live chat vote for?
The live chat voted for this week. Collision picks up its second W in the war.
All right, Collidas.
4-2.
4-2. Dynamite winning the series, but 4-2. 4-2. Yeah. All right, Collidas.
What'd you think about CM Punk's "I'm a Collision Guy" t-shirt?
Hey, if he banging, we need to bang too. So we need a Dynamite shirt.
I'm with you.
Ride a Dynamite.
Yo. That's fire.
Ride a Dynamite.
That's fire. Oh man.
Y'all can't beat my ass though.
Ride a Dynamite. So yeah, shout out to Collision with y'all second win. I know that's right. They said we still here. I know that's right, Collidas. Come on and raise up, take your shirt off.
That's crazy.
Let's go, Collidas.
I'm with it though. I enjoyed both Collision and Dynamite this last week. I don't really watch Rampage like that. I'm not gonna hold you. There's gonna be too much going on for me. Put that on t-shirt.
I might do that.
Yeah, that's fire.
Ride a Dynamite. But yeah, so make sure y'all tune in to Dynamite. Dynamite is celebrating the 200th episode. Kudos to them. They still here 4 years later. 200 episodes. That's amazing. That's great. You know, people projected them to be done by 2020, and they still here, making more deals, making more money. And it's gonna be a great card. That main event gonna be ruthless if they main eventing John Moxley versus Trent versus Penta. That's just gonna go crazy.
I think they gotta do that.
Yeah, they gotta do that, and they gotta get Trent that win. Get him that win.
Oh, that would be dope. Well, they've kind of traded wins these last 3 weeks, right? So it's time for the best friends to get.
Win. Yeah, give him this win. But yeah, it's gonna be violent between Penta and Moxley. One of them gonna bleed.
Both of them gonna bleed. Shit, that would serve the best.
We want to see Lucha. We want to see Lucha Underground Penta on this match.
That'll be violence.
Break an arm or two or something. I don't know. But yes.
Sammy finally got a picture with his mouth not open.
Yes, it's looking better. I like that.
I'm proud of him.
The growth.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you.
The growth. The growth. So yeah, make sure y'all tune in to Dynamite because you'll miss the Collision card, and then of course they'll give us the Rampage card. Pay attention to Rampage because they're starting to use Rampage for ROH and also dissecting things with Dynamite and Collision. That's why I've been watching Rampage, but I think they might turn Rampage to a Lucha show. Honestly, I'm not sure, but they're doing different things on Rampage. They're still figuring it out. But make sure you tune into Collision. Make sure you tune into Dynamite. Next Monday, I have a special guest on the show. Y'all will know when y'all get the flyer out. So, yeah, I have a guest finally for Monday. He is a collider, okay? So, having him on there.
It's going to be loud.
Yeah, loud-ass nigga on collider. But, so make sure y'all tune in next Monday. Stay safe, stay hydrated. The heat wave is still going on across the U.S. We feel it now here in Texas. I know y'all do. Football season is on the horizon. I'm letting y'all know I'm banging the boys, them boys. So keep it cute. We going to the Super Bowl this year. Y'all already know how it is. Y'all know how I get. Texas too, we banging. You know what I'm saying? Longhorns all day. So yeah, football season is on the horizon. It's gonna get physical up in here. I'm gonna make sure she don't put that bullshit behind me, but she might.
We need to get you one too, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give me one.
We need to get you one too.
I'm gonna order me. I got me a Cowboys sundress too. I'm ready. I'm gonna be Cowboys down. But y'all have a good night. Y'all stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Hit my Getaway Music Gram.
You've mentioned a couple names recently. Who were they?
Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans,